We know the world is changing so fast and all human activities work so fast. No exception in the petroleum industry. Today, we know a lot about artificial intelligence, machine learning, which is supported by big data. So we no longer need to do repetitive work such as data cleaning, depth adjustment, synthetic data loss, and many more. What I understand from this is uh, the AI application can be characterized in reservoir classification. Uh, I hope that through this webinar we can learn a lot about it. I also want to apologize if in the seminar there are still many deficiency and imperfection in it. I hope this can be our evaluation material for the better for the future. I do not forget to thank all the teamwork who have worked hard in this activity. That's all that I can say. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Hasnan, for the speech. Without further ado, I welcome Mr. Dr. Muhammad Alimuddin Hamzah Assegaf, SSC and Engineering, as the head of Geophysics Department, Hasanuddin University, to deliver a speech and open the SPExpand Part 3. The stage is yours.
Okay. So, thank you very much for all of you, especially our speaker today, Mr. Marda Vidrianto, Dr. Marda Vidrianto. Thank you very much for your time. And also Husnul and Haikal and Hasnan. You encourage all the students to participate such important event for developing skill in our department. So as you know, we are in the era of artificial intelligence. Everyone's wants to know and participate in artificial intelligence. And also in our department. As you're informed to our student and also the staff that we plan to buy a big storage, to providing you as a drive, as a Google Drive, a private Google Drive for you, so you can handle the data more than 1 tera or even though until 10 tera. So for the first stage, we want to buy about like 30 tera for the student who want to finish the his study and doing final assignment and need storage. And this storage will be attached to the server, not too powerful server, but we continue to buy one by one if you have enough budget next year. And but hopefully at the end of this year, we already have the server and the storage, and then all of you will be listed and invited to use the storage for you. Yeah. And you know, why do we do this? Because if you learn about the artificial intelligence, the big problem actually is where your data will be stored, where your data will be get. So you have to know where you get the data and how to process the data, and then how you store the data is also the main part of the artificial intelligence, especially in deep learning. Yeah, deep learning. And then also, we encourage you, all of you, to start to learn Python. And now we are in the department in the transition from Matlab to Python. We cannot just leave Matlab because there are still many of us still from last year. We are officially announced that we use Python for our numerical analysis, yeah, in the 2 or 3 subject is officially use the Python. So next, when we are working in the server where you can do your study at home without come to the campus anymore, you can access your files and your code in the server using Python. There will be very useful for you. And then, of course, you have to familiarize yourself of Python and also application of Python and Matlab in the server. So not in the common way where your Python installed in your computer, but the Python installed in the server, so you can remotely access, make your own login, and then your own directory. Yeah. So we attach the what do we call NAS, network attached storage, in our server, and everyone have allocated some memories, some storage there, and also memories, and it will be administratively arranged by Pak Paha. Yeah, Pak Paha will coordinate, including its security. So this is if this event will be very good, we can say the starting point as to familiarize yourself with artificial intelligence, and maybe in machine learning and deep learning, try to grasp from the roots. Yeah, not too fast, but you have to encourage yourself to balance between practical and theoretical. Yeah, because it has to be balanced. Yeah, if you just know how to code but you don't know how the code is working, that will be you're just an operator and you don't know how the machine works. Yeah, and on behalf of Geophysics Department of Hasanuddin University, I officially open this expand, yeah, and also great thanks to the speakers, Nurul, Husnul, Hasnan, and Haikal for a great job. I hope continually. And the last appreciation is how the geophysics students give his contribution in the last ICOS seminar. Yeah, I really appreciate that, and I'm really proud of that. Hopefully it will continue in the next years. Yeah, so thank you very much for your kind attention, and I hope you enjoy this event, and it gives you a benefit for your career, and I hope you can start to look at artificial intelligence, yeah, especially machine learning and deep learning. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Dr. Muhammad Alimuddin Hamzah Segaf for the speech. Next, I would like to introduce our speakers today. His name Marda Vidrianto as the PGS Artificial Lift Manager. Education, Institute Teknologi Bandung, 2001 to 2006. Bachelor degree, Petroleum Engineering. Universitas Indonesia, 2016 to 2018. Master degree, Gas Management. Working experience, Production Engineer, Lead Production Engineer, Subsurface Engineer and Facilities Team to establish seawater injection. Head of Artificial Lift, 2014 to 2018. Lead Artificial Lift Section to provide fit for proposed ESP system. And now as the PGS Artificial Lift Manager. All right, the next agenda is presentation about the next digital leap. Where's artificial intelligence in petroleum industry? If you have any question during the presentation, please kindly send into the chat box. And then we will discuss about that in Q&A session. So I would like to invite Mr. Marda Vidrianto to do the presentation. Time and place is yours.
Okay, Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you again for the whole academic members of the University of Hasanuddin, especially Bapak Alimuddin Assegaf as the head of the Geoscience or Geophysics department, we call that, and also the SPE team, from the Hasanuddin University. Is a pleasure and it's an honor for me to share with you what our experience, in PSE OSES regarding the subject matter. Before I start the presentations, it's really interesting what Mr. Alimuddin Assegaf said before, that the university itself is now preparing all the infrastructure, and also supporting the student to, well, to enhance their knowledge not only in the field of what the subject matter that they selected at the beginning, which is probably the geoscience or the petroleum engineering, but now also equip them with the tools or the additional knowledge which artificial intelligence can help them in the future being a better engineer, and that was a really interesting for me. Okay, perhaps I can start sharing the screen. Wait. I cannot share my screen because you guys are still sharing your screen. Hi, Cal. You have to stop sharing screen. Yes. Then I can share.
This way. Sorry.
Is it coming up now?
Yes, sir. It's invisible.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, let me make this smaller. Okay. Okay, the title of my presentation today will be the artificial intelligence altering the petroleum industry. I grabbed some information on the global progress or the update from the what the artificial in the petroleum industry itself and also in the general industry. and also I will later on give you guys or share with you guys what experience regarding the artificial lift in our artificial lift department in PSE OSES, and some sharing about what students can be prepared before go through the real world later on. So as you can see that there was a sharing likely more to the practical world, yeah, and then you guys can take a lesson from that. Okay, so I'll show you guys some update first. This is the trend of the AI and the oil and gas industry. The forecast from these years until 5 years ahead. This is from Marda. You can see here in the left side of the screen the data, the market summary. It shows that the market was increased, yeah, from about well, almost double, I think. And the study is conducted by the Mordor Intelligence, and they are interviewing with the whole IT giant, yeah, you know, Google, IBM, Intel, Microsoft, and Fusion. And what they said that the faster growing market is in the Asia Pacific, and it's also not the fastest only, but also the larger market. So as we are now in the Asia Pacific region, so that means that there is a lot of opportunity for us, for you guys also to join into this artificial intelligence industry, yeah. So yes, we are seeing that the oil and gas companies right now is not only try to improving or increasing their productions, but with the threat, well, it's not a threat, with the new and renewable energy now emerging, the business of the oil and gas thinks that they have to speed up and get more efficient in producing the oil and gas itself, and also to reduce the impact on the environment that can make them back competitive again with the renewable energy, because those people now has a big concern on the environment impact. So the oil and gas industry want to have a good image right now. And also using an AI on the offshore oil and gas business, or even the onshore, overall the data that being used is been there before. Yeah, it's a lot of data actually. Sometimes it's completed, sometimes it's not. We just use it as a usual processing, say in the reservoir or the subsurface data. They just using for the common predictive for the yearly prediction of the productions, and also day to day in their production engineering. They just say they're just using the data to monitor what happened today, and they cannot predict what happened tomorrow, right? And also very probably in the drilling and workover, those of drilling parameters, the RPMs, everything is always been there, but the data never being used particularly to design a better approach, yeah, for the future operations. So well, the data is there. Sometimes yes, it's sometimes complete, sometimes it's not. That's the challenge. But the bigger challenge actually to implement the artificial intelligence in the oil and gas business is the capital investment that the company need to prepare. Yeah, and because of the high investment, the new technology sometimes well, most likely give because the technology is still new, all the equipment and infrastructure is still new, and people just rush to go to prepare and try to use that. Everything's still new, and the price is going high, right? So the industry tends to hold back a little bit. I mean, they need to conduct the study first, whether this is possible or not, or economically feasible or not. And there's many what you call a little steps, yeah, just to ensure that the project was not a burden to the economy of the company itself. And not to mention that the one that lead the company right now, basically mostly is came from the, well, baby boomers, or you can say like that. So that what they think is probably AI is like everything you have on PC, now you put it on the phone or mobile phones. Well, the actual is not like that, right? There's they think that maybe that's a nice to have only, not that what we need right now. And also other than that, other than the company itself, there's a problem that say in Indonesia there are lack of skilled AI professional on that. So in my experience, when we PSE OSES try to develop this within our own company, well, even our IT department itself not so supporting, because they don't have a capability to act faster, and also doesn't have the knowledge or doesn't have the professionals that dedicate to do that. So that is a human resources issues, yeah. So the first, as I said before, there's a commitment from the management itself, and then the human resources is another problem. So that's why seeing that the market now is still growing, and is growing big in the Asia Pacific, I think that you guys need to have additional knowledge on the AI skills. All right, so here to show that actually the demand of crude oil is still increasing, yeah. And though those renewable energy is coming up, but then, well, it's not fast enough to fulfilling the supply of the energy. So that's why a oil and gas company are still working harder to prepare or to produce to get a lot of hydrocarbon from the subsurface, which in turn they need more efficient ways, right? As you know, that the oil and gas price right now those insights can help us to have a quick actions, yeah, or not action, but selections of option that we can execute. So we can select which one is better than the other. So it has a prioritization. There's AI also can do that. So which we can go first, so that can help us to get the better a production in case. Okay. This is also the just the picture, yeah, about the data before, that the demand of the AI in the Asia Pacific regions is very high comparing to the other regions. Though in the other regions is already mature, yeah, like in the United States, on the Europe. There's already already got some the the AI provisional is already there. In the center of the data is already there. So, well, pretty much you can say that the growth is not big because they already settled. All right. So some simple explanations for those that still or just hear the AI right now is I try to explain this in the context of a human, because artificial intelligence and humans is after all is the intelligence creatures, right? The most intelligent creatures. So AI wants to mimic that or mirroring that. So such for the example, if we can speak and listen, then what can AI do to mimic that is using the statistical based speech recognition, right? And there's a program for that. And also, if we can write and read text in a language, the AI can have natural language processing program. Or if we can viewing and processing what that we data from our eyes, yeah, the processing that what we're viewing. That's on the computer itself. They have the computer visions, image processing, or in the advanced term, there is also coming with the CNN or convolutional neural network that can recognize object based on pattern as well. And if we can moving around environment, know what's there or not, and how to walk, yeah, that's come with robotics in AI. And then when we can the identifying object, and then also in AI there's a pattern recognition using the machine learning that's also been there. And if we can connect many things, yeah, in our brains, that's when we call cognitive ability, right? To learn some things. And deep learning in AI is trying to mimic that using the neural networks. And we can also have a memory of our past. And computer can do more than that, because sometimes our memory is limited, and the recurrent neural network on the AI can have that, can also keep the data itself for some period of time back, as long as our storage is enough. Okay, so in other words, there are two big part of the AI. One is the symbolic learning, and the other one is the machine learning. Everything that based on symbols, picture, and everything are fall through the definition of the symbolic learning. That could be image processing, robotics, and computer vision. But the other one is machine learning. It can be the deep learning or statistical learning. And the statistical can using the speech recognitions and also and the NLP, right? And then deep learning, we have a CNN, convolutional, and RNN, yeah. And then we have a computer vision right now, and then the object recognitions. So when the machine learning itself, this can be used for, well, generally can be used for two things. First one is the classification of the data and predictions from that data. Yeah. So which one of two normally it depends on our needs. Say if you want to have if you get a lot of the data, you just want to know this is the classification of the gender, or well, you can say the categorizing, then there's a classification. But if for prediction, say we have data historical and we want to know what's happened on the next years, then we can use the prediction of machine learning. There's a lot of methods to do that. Well, I'm not covered the method in here because to be honest, that was not the my subject of experience and also my knowledge, because I'm more in the practical ways on how to define the business needs that can be done by the AI, right? And to do that, to process the data, there's we can have three methods as well. The supervised learning, when you already have the label for the data, or the unsupervised, when you want the program to label the data. Say, well, some stars in the skies, or the peppers. Well, some of my friends doing that. I can show you later. There's a lot of peppers that they're using some data. Then you can have some label, because the machine itself, the program itself, can learn they are falling to what labels. That's the unsupervised. And also reinforcement learning. If we have a specific target for the programs to achieve, then the program will recurrently running until the subject is achieved. Say, when you ask the robot to go until third step in the ladder, then if they cannot go on the third step, then you always keep go to the third step on the ladder itself. Is repeating itself until it can do what the target set to the programs. So that's basically the AI that currently we are using. There's a many explanation that you can find about this, but I think this is the simple way to tell us that what is AI actually is all about. Okay, now we are going to the utilizations of the artificial intelligence in the petroleum industry. Well, I take the examples in PSE, or in the Pertamina Hulu Energy. We want to have the AI or machine learning to enhance our operational efficiency. And also we want it when the efficiency already increased, for sure the cost can be reduced, right? And also sometimes we really need to have a prediction what's gonna happen in our well when some set of data is coming. That's come in the predictive data. And then for sure, if we can do a remote operation on a well, which our operation in offshore, that can increase safety for our people that are working, because sometimes the first step or the first aid to the well, for now we always have to send people go to the remote platform. But if we can have a, well, sort of a artificial intelligence on the well itself, then the first aid can be done either manually from the server, or automatically by the AI itself to adjust the well. Yeah. By doing that, hopefully we can increase the safety for our workers. And this is a subsurface things. And when we gather all the data, hopefully we can find out a trend, what we can have an insight on which area that still have resources. Normally we can do that, yes, with our normal software, but how many times there's well, last month I am joining a webinar saying that some of data was processing that using a normal programming, yeah, software, just a normal subsurface software, the data should have a result for the finding new resources for 40 years if the data is normally analyzed through the conventional method. All of those data, 5,000 wells. And then with this new artificial intelligence and the machine learning program, that guys or that team can only can have the same result within 50 hours. So you can imagine, yeah, 40 years versus 50 hours. So you can imagine how many possibility that we can try to have without well, without having a time to consume that much. Yeah, so we are saving a lot of time there. That's what AI can help in the subsurface or maybe in the geoscience as well. All right, this is the applications, yeah, the real applications. So in drilling, there's AI can help in the precision drilling, yeah, by collecting all the data from the previous drilling, that we can have a new design or new drilling design for a well, just for us to help reducing the risks and the accidents, yeah. And for productions, which this is my field of work, we are using AI to recognize some patterns and generate analytics and suggestions, predictive maintenance that we can have, so that we can ensure the well is the well uptime, or the well is online pretty much as long as the well can. So we are reducing our downtime. And for reservoir, apart for the AI helping the field surveillance, as I said before, it can also help us to predict or to give us insight where is the location of the oil that or gas that's still left in the reservoir. And in general, there are well, two things. The other one is the chatbot is more towards the how the downstream industry of oil and gas. The other two is for the upstreams and downstream as well. So such as for the monitoring, the AI powered cameras, robots, and drones can help the company or reduce the potential damage, yeah, and give a predictive measure to, yeah, for us to avoid the issues or safety issues or anything. And also the automation. This is the automations that actually right now in PSE, OSES, we are trying to have, because most of our well are in the remote platform, where the operator itself is not always there, and some of the well is not tested for a week, month even. So that we want to have a automation in our wells. And the last one, as I said, this is more to the downhole and also in the downstream of the industry itself. And it's not only in the oil and gas. Chatbot is already being used in the other industry than oil and gas, and they are using that first. So basically, chatbot is say to connect with the customer, gather informations, and then the company can have a new design of the business model or something else based on the customer needs. This is some example that ExxonMobil did with the AI. So they are working with the MIT to design the robots, yeah, for exploration in the ocean. So they believe that there is a lot of oil ship, yeah, in the sea floor, and to reduce the problem with the safety of sending human to dive. So they are working with MIT to have robots that can detect and give analysis on the probable resource of the oil seep itself. They believe that 60% of the oil reserve in their seabed. You can read that on the emerge.com, I think that. And also this is Shell, yeah. This is Shell downstream using chatbot to get all data, yeah, just like what Google and also all the our Gojek and everything try to take data from us. Yeah, same. Shell use chatbot just to give idea for customer which kind of a lubrication that they can good for their vehicles, and then by using that they know the market, they learn the market and what they need, and then Shell itself eventually can develop products based on needs. Okay, and also here the CNPC, China or Sinopec, you can say like that, because Sinopec is big in the plants, yeah, or refinery, yeah. So they want to create a smart refinery. They are working with Huawei. There is they have a lot of data coming on stream on each vessel that they have, and then they can automate all the process, and well, they try to create a digital twin for the refinery. And by doing that, they hope also that to increase the safety of their workers. And this is Pertamina itself. I take this from Makassar Sindun News, yeah. So probably you can also already have that when you go to your gas station. So Pertamina with Microsoft doing a job together. Well, they are working together to improve the digitalization in the Pertamina itself, creating the innovation hub, and also for the global marketing. And Pertamina also working with the telecom to digitize all the gas stations so that they know where is, yeah, well, basically the data is already there, but when they have it as a digitized data, they can have a lot of insight where is where the gas stations that can give them a big benefits, and also where the area that needs more gas and such something like that. So basically, when there is a business needs, they can define the business needs, and everything can support the AI designed to support those business needs. Okay, so now I will share about the AI in our company, the PSE OSES. But before go there, I don't know, Mr. Haikal, the question is in the end of the presentations or what? Mr. Haikal? Mr. Hasnan?
Yes, Mr. You can take a Q&A during your presentation or
Yeah. So okay, so please then you guys before I go through the next slide, if you have any question regarding things that I already explained before, please, you can have questions. Or if not, I will continue my presentation first. Right. What we want to create in PSE OSES is a digital twin from our field. Yeah. So what is the digital twin? Is basically a replica. Yeah. For everything in surface or even in the subsurface, and then we want to create that as a living digital simulation model. So what happened in the surface, physical happened to the surface, can be represented in this digital replica. And because of the data itself is continue adding, we want this platform, this digital platform, to continuously learn and update itself. And then by doing that, every day, we as engineers or operator or supervisor in the field can always have an insight what they can do that day, what they can avoid, what problem that they can avoid that day in the future using that day data. And also, when we have a predictions, we can also have a optimizations. And when we have automation later on, we doesn't have to go to the platform itself if the degree of the automation is not so high. So probably say for the safety issue, the big vessel for the processing of the liquid cannot be automatically adjust, say like that, for because of the concern of the safety, right? See, so that based on the degree of the optimization that can be done, sorry, degree of the automation that can be done, then later on we can settle which part, which equipment that we can automate. So this is the data that stream from the subsurface equipment, from the reservoir itself, and also from the surface equipment. We have dynamic and static data. By static means let's say for the seismic data, when we don't have a new data, then this is a static data. Only when we have a new processing ways, then we have a new data, right? And then we have a dynamic data that streaming in a matter of a month, in a matter of a day, in a matter even in a matter of second. So say for the ESPs or the pump that we use to pump out the oil from the wells, the sensor, the downhole sensor can send data per second for each parameter. Say we have a pressure, we have temperature, the pressure itself is contained the intake pressure, the discharge pressure, we have the amperage in the surface, we have a voltage of the transformers, and etc. and etc. Also, we have a production data like the well testing, the rate of the fluid, the rate of the gas, the rate of the oil, the rate of the water, and etc. So there's a lot of data. Basically, that means nothing if we cannot take any value from that data. And we want to design or using AI to help us to understand the data itself. At least we have an insight, right, to how to optimize our well. So this what we try to build, rebuilding the digital oil field platform based on IoT devices, put it in the surface and also the sensors on the downhole itself. Some servers, some programming things, and then the objective is the simplest way is just to visualize the data, and then by having a visualizations, then we can monitor or surveillance our wells. Then with the data, historical data, using the statistical programming and with the machine learning, we can predict. And then also we can analyze the well performance or the surface facility equipment's performance. And then there's a option for the optimization that we can take. Yeah, and as I said, the last one is automations. Hopefully we can do that because automation needs more hardware to be equipped in a well itself. That means need more capital, so we put it on the last one. The critical items that we are facing between the initiation until the implementation and the continuous improvement, it's you need to define the business needs first. That's the most important things. Yeah, you need to know what is the needs on our business, and not all the objective AI can answer that. Maybe simple things can be done without AI, right? So determining the business needs is really important. And the second one, you need to have a good team and they commit with the team. That's really important. And it will be better if the whole management also support on that. because otherwise the project is not gonna be a success. Yeah. Apart from that, because of PIC, OSES, well, in the past, we never touched with the artificial intelligence, and it's not only us. Most of the oil companies never touched with AI before. So even we don't have a positions in our organizations that related to this one in the AI, like data analyst, like a data science. We don't have that. Our IT may have a software engineer, but they don't have anything related with the AI, like AI scientists. They don't have that. We don't have that. So that it's really hard for us. That basically we are doing while we learning now. So that's the learning curve will be very long. That's why we want to have a benchmark to the other companies. And most of the big companies, they cut all the process by hiring a software engineering company, software company, you can say like that, because they have the capability of the AI. Then the mind itself is came from the oil company. They can do like that. That's fast track. And then after we have the team, because of the business process in oil company is not a simple one, and then we need to integrate all the workflow, because we don't want to create things that only have a good result for one section, but that doesn't have other section. Using the same data, basically we can support many things. For the example, using the same production data and also a ESP sensor data, both productions, reservoirs, and also the well service team can have a insight, right, with the same data. So that's why we need to have integration in the workflow, so that we don't have to repeat many times just working with the same data. And then infrastructures. This is why I said in the beginning that it's really good that your university is providing you guys with the infrastructures, just to know, just to train with a lot of data, and then using those infrastructures to creating and programming. That's really good. And we try to make the application or the machine learning as a module. Say we have a module for the production engineering team, so that when we want to upgrade or replace, we just replace that module only, or upgrade that module only. The platform, the digital platform itself as a home, still the same. So we are now building that. And before we have a full implementation, for sure we need to have a proof of the concept. We call it as a POC, proof of the concept. When the POC is good, then we can install it and then continue improving the program model itself. Right, so this is some plan and also the phase of our project. Yeah, we are starting on 2019, so just last year's, but the team basically is creating before that. So basically there's some bunch of engineers that have a, well, you can say that we has the same purpose and same well, we have the same interest on this programming AI, and then we try to discuss together whether we can try to implement in our company or not, and then we try to communicate that with our management, though it's not really easy to gain, yeah, well, to have a full support for the management, which, well, it's not easy. We still continue with the simple or the smaller scope first. So we want to prove that this concept is work. That's why we started simple and small scope. And then right now we are in the process in parallel. The first one is preparing the infrastructures, which like you can say the SCADA itself or the hardware to monitor our wells. And also we are have discussions with the software company, with the oil service company, just to gain knowledge, or if they can prepare a digital platform for us. So as I said before this, because somebody else in some other world already start, so that we don't have to learn from zero, right? So those guys already start there, so we learn from them. And hopefully in the phase 3, from the phase 2, we try to focus first on the productions operations, and then the phase 3, we are focusing on the more complex data of reservoirs, so that we want to later on develop a module for the reservoir itself. And the last one is the automation. This is where the capital is the most. Okay, so some of the progress that we already have, there's some study also is we are having the virtual flow rates. Also, we have ESP design and selections. Also, we have AI module for the predictive failure. In progress, we are conducting a programming for the production forecasting. Normally we using DCA or decline curve analytic software, but with machine learning we can also using that. And also doing a nodal analysis, well optimizations, and reservoir surveillance. See, here's are some of the examples. We in here for the programming itself, we are working with the team from ITB. So friends over there working with us, we providing the data, we are providing the business needs, and then we are providing the practical ways on how we work that, and then they give us some, they help us on the programming, and they help us on the knowledge itself. This is the left one is the example for the ESP design using the machine learning. So the objective is using all the historical data of the running life of a well of ESP in a well that has a lot of problems, and then the algorithm itself can give us what type of ESPs that will be have a better run life in that well. So using that program, we can select which type of pump that is better for us to use in some of the well. And in the middle, we have a virtual flow rate. So sometimes a well were tested to take the sample of the production, say once a day for the new complete well, or once per week, or even once per month. If everything is stable, then the well probably takes once per month. And between data in a month, they just assume that the rate is the same, but actually it's not, right? And by having a lot of gap in the data, we want to have a virtual flow rate data that came from a ESP data. The ESP data itself came in seconds, right? As I said before. So we can have virtually every seconds of flow rate. So we can conduct, if later on we can use that data for build up analysis, or we can have a drawdown test, because we always have a rate and we always has a pressure. So the program itself is well, still trying now. It's still it proved work for some wells. So it falls. So the red dot you can see here, the red dot is the well test, the sample test data, and also the blue dot is the prediction from the machine learning. And also we are trying to compare that with some of the equations that are available. But because of the sum of data was not there, then just assumption. That's the real world problem. Yeah, when the data is not there, there is come assumption, and when the assumption is wrong, you can see that the forecasting of the rate was not correct. And using machine learning, we proved that we can have a better accuracy to have a virtual flow rate. And on the right one, this is a predictive failure. Yeah, so we see all the sensor data here, and then the algorithm itself is gonna come up with within 3 hours data before, probably the well has a sand injection problems, things like that. So the programming tell us what happened in the well within some data. Now we are upgrading this one, still in progress, to predict what happened in the future. Yeah, so this is the last part actually. I want to show you guys what is the opportunity for you having a knowledge in AI. Back to the first slide, the challenge of the industry itself is the high capital investment of the integration of AI. The investment will be to preparing the human resource, to preparing all the hardware. That's the big capital investment. And also lack of skilled AI professional. There's as a global problem, but also in Indonesia, there's a really an issue for that. There are, well, to my experience, there are 3 schemes for collaborations for oil company or oil and gas industry to develop a AI or building a digital platform for their field. The first one, which is the conventional way, oil company have a collaborations with the service company. The service company basically has the muscle knowledge is in the oil and gas, yeah. But sometimes they can hire software engineers so that they can build the application for us. The second one, we are working with the software company. So they only know the software engineering, all the machine learning and all of those things with the AI, but they don't know about the petroleum engineering. So that's need us to explain to them. Yeah. So the conventional way, the easiest way is go with service company. And then the little bit harder way, go with the software company. Yeah, but you need to give them you need to guide them about all the knowledge in the petroleum and also the business needs of the oil and gas itself, so that they can translate that into programming, AI programming that can help us to achieve our business target. And the last one, this is with the university. Yeah, so ExxonMobil is working with MIT to creating AI with robots. Yeah, then and also us PSE OSS now are working with ITB. But also we try all of those 3 ways. Yeah, we are now measuring which one is more comfortable for us. But to me, I believe that when we go with the university, there's a lot of benefit, yeah, for both sides. So the university environment can grow, and also the oil companies can have a benefit to have machine learning that validate by the university. I mean that sometimes we are creating, we are working with formulas, right? Sometimes the formula is just an empiric formula based on experience, something like that. When we are working with university, all the professors, all the doctor there can help us to validate, okay, that is a good ways in terms of academic, right? So, well, we can create our AI. We can get our target. We can achieve our target, and also we can develop a good community itself in the university for the AI. So as you can see that probably in the University of Hasanuddin there is a lot of community, right? I mean, from Department of Geoscience, Department of Computer Science, they can work together to create machine learning or even deep learning that can help all the industry around the university itself. So that's what I think is gonna have a big benefit. That's why how we can know that, because we try all of the three ways. We try to manage that. We want to know first. We are in the step of proof of concept. Which concept is actually have a better result for everyone. So when you guys seeing that there is possibility, even during you as a student in the university, you can even already can collaborate with the real works. If there are a scheme, oil company that using scheme that working with university, so you can contribute with that. But in actual, what is the job related with the AI that you might be data engineers in the future? The first one is the business intelligence. Yeah, the main task of the business intelligence is the design models, and most important thing is identify market and business trends. Say, this is what I'm think that without having an advanced knowledge in AI, you guys can be business intelligence. Because what? Because say you most of you are from say geophysics, yeah? You know what is the market and business trend in the geophysics world, right? I mean, how to process data, how to process the seismic, and how to find a reservoir, things like that. You know it better than anyone else. So the business needs, you know better than the software engineering or someone else. So in that area of expertise, you guys doesn't have any competitors, I think. And then if we are moving to the data scientists, because compiling data and then with the data make the recommendation to improve business, well, it needs compile data itself. If we are using if we are using machine learning, preparing the data is basically 60 to 80% of the time. So you need to have knowledge. So if you want to have a business intelligence and a data scientist job, you need to learn AI or programming as a basic. And then the third one is the AI research scientist. Well, this because this is researching and developing an AI machine learning, and then you have then you need to have more knowledge in the computer science. And then the machine learning itself is about the same with the AI research scientist, but in here the main job is to deploy and analyze and support the machine learning solutions. And the last two is a software developer. This is basically the guys from the computer science is already have advantage from guys like us in petroleum engineering or even from geosciences. So they do have a advantage on that. And for robotic scientists, well, you know, robotics, yeah, guys from the mechanical engineering know better than us. So you need to I don't know, probably the one that joined this webinar came from computer science guys. So yeah, you can focus on software developing and or even in the scientist as a robotic scientist. and the one that came from geoscience or petroleum engineering can more towards the business intelligence developer and data scientist. And in general, all of us, if you guys learning the AI, then we can go with the AI research or machine learning engineer. Well, that's basically what the world need right now. You can read that from the source below, yeah, business students. 6 hot job in the artificial intelligence. Not many oil company has that positions. So probably in the formal way, we only have right now software developer because it's been there for long, right, in the ICT department. But for the other ones, not having that. So you can equip yourself right now. Hopefully, when the oil company, you know, because the market is closed, needs that, and you already have the skill set that can fulfill the needs. Hopefully. Also, there's many free online AI and machine learning sites that you can go inside and learn about that. There's a from the university. I give you all of this link, yeah, to select which one for you. Then we have the machine learning. Even we have, if you go to the last one, there's came from my friends. You have a channel from YouTube. You can learn that in Indonesians. Yeah, it's belajar machine learning from zero. And also the other one is more complex, but well, I think no needs, yeah, because probably in our university, most likely we don't have a specific what you call lecture that give you AI, machine learning, or deep learning directly as a lecture. Yeah, because maybe maybe it is available for the computer science students, but for us that are non-computer science student, this one is not available. This the knowledge and the lecture. The subject you can learn itself by attending these free online courses. I think it's better like that because, well, you know, even in the Indonesian itself, the AI is not developed yet. Yeah, I mean most of the people is autodidact, is they learn by themselves. Yeah, so that what they learn in the university previously, they just use it as as the basic intelligence, basic skill set. But when they are working more with the AI. So this is that I said before. If you want also to take to read some paper, this my friend has a try to clustering 4,000 paper in one paper, and then using the latent semantic analysis or pattern to read the language, yeah, to have to read the subject, title of the paper itself, and then it can clustering itself into 50 well, he tried to develop to take 4,000 paper into some topics that regarding all the artificial intelligence that put it in the one paper. So even when we are doing benchmarking, you can use the machine learning to learn, yeah. Rather than read all those 4,000 paper, you can have a specific topic that you want to learn, and then the program gives yourself which paper that you need to read. Well, that's really good, I think. And then just this afternoon, because I just aware that SPE in the University of Hasanuddin came from the geophysics. Yeah, I try to read what is the AI for the geoscience engineers. So as I said before, turns out that there are two parts. First part is the geoscience itself, and the other one is the AI engineering. So those two parts need to work together, and the role itself, the geoscience has the role to prioritize the science questions, or in our industrial term is the business needs. And then geoscience is preparing the variable and data because you guys are knowing the strength and weakness inherent to the data itself. And also you guys need to pre-process the data, right? Like the smoothing or removing seasonal cycles. While the machine learning, which normally came from the computer science students, they are deciding the method, yeah, the programming method that available and appropriate for the data to ensure that the output is interpretable by the geoscience, and that's why the business needs or the science question can be answered. So here it's not only happen in the university but also in the industry. So if in the industry we are working with the software company to develop programs, you now even can work together with your peer from the computer science students to create a project together, because you know geoscience better than them, but they know computer science better than you, so that you can create a collaborative project, I think. Then I believe that's based on those projects and many projects that you have been done in the future, it will help you in the real world. You can read this on the grownai.com. Well, I think at last many of my college member, they are from petroleum engineering, but then because they really like data science, they end up following their interest on data science, and now is working with Gojek, Grab, Libly, yeah, all those startup because right now that business is improving a lot. So don't worry if you cannot working for the oil and gas industry. There is still many things that are using artificial intelligence. So if you have a good skill set of AI, then you, well, because this is like a life skill right now, yeah, then you can survive lah. I believe it's like this. I think that is the end of my presentation. Hope that it can give you some what insight or knowledge of what happened in the oil and gas and what is the market right now, what you guys can prepare and what you guys can do. Yeah, things like that. What are you waiting for? So go try to add some new skill set and try to use it on your subject of knowledge, your geoscience or geophysics or others that join in these seminars. So sorry if I have some things explained wrong. So sorry for that. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity to talk with you guys. Please, if you have any question, I give back to the moderator to arrange this webinar. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marda Vidrianto, and that's our presentation session. Sorry because our moderators looks like have a bad network right now, so we are sorry for that. And I will take it from right now. So we have first questions from the chat box, sir. O2, first of it, from Sakif 2017. Thanks for the great presentation, Mr. Marda. I'm Sakif from Geophysics Department of Universitas Hasanuddin. From several exciting programming language which are often used in the petroleum industry. Another question, please give your advice for undergraduate students how to prepare if we want to become an AI expert later.
Yeah, so, well, from what I know, then, and I'm actually start to learning the machine learning as well, yeah, the programming. My friend told me, and I tried to learn from that as well, that maybe the Python language is the easiest way for us to develop some programs. And I just shared to you guys, there's a lot of link for the AI learning courses, right? Free learning courses. So I hope that you can select one of it and take benefit from them. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Marda.
Yes.
Next questions from Rafif. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. I want to ask you a question. From what I know, AI doesn't have an emotional side, at least until now. And the risk management won't being much safer without emotional side and critical thinking that every human being has. So nowadays, how far the AI take the control of the oil and gas production, and what division that being responsible for the AI development?
Right. Well, eventually, probably, I cannot say it's true or not, but then there will be also emotion, right, that created from the AI. But I don't know. You can go with well, emotion can be set, right? I mean, the mimics, because people see emotion from mimics, and also people see emotion from the other people doing, right? So that can be a program, I think. And for the question that how far the AI take control of oil and gas production right now, if we say in Indonesia, well, it's not much yet. And because of what? Because there's a big gap between uh, the skill set that available on the market, and also in terms of supply and demand. Yeah, the supply or the AI professional was not a lot. It's not there. And also for the demand, the oil and gas, most of the people is not really aware yet on how to optimize or how to have a benefit with AI. Most likely we are in, let's say in Indonesia, still in the first step towards using AI on all of the operations. So I believe there's still a big opportunity for us, for you as well, in Indonesia and in Asia Pacific, to grow more. And as my first, or what, the first slide, yeah, or the third slide, showing that the growth in the Asia Pacific region is very big, but in the oil industry itself in Indonesia, most of the company just started. So there's an opportunity in there as well. And normally, because we just started, we don't have a dedicated organization of the AI engineering. Yeah, sometimes it's go with the development department. Sometimes it going together with the ICT department. So it literally doesn't have a connection in for each companies. They take different ways. That's it.
Any response from Rafif? If you don't have any response, I will remind you guys, if you have any question, just raise your hand, or you can text it from chat box. Write it on.
I already send my presentation, yeah, to the SPE Unhas, so you can ask the presentation through the moderator or to Hasan. Anything? Any question?
So how guys, if you have any question, just be brave to
Well,
ask.
basically, for you guys, for students, just to let you know that I encourage students to write the final project or thesis using a method of you can select method of machine learning through to well, you know, to create a AI or machine learning programming to process all of the data as your final project. So that's what I already did with 6 students. Yeah, and basically everything that I show you previously, those virtual flow rate, the ESP design and selections based on the historicals, and also the predictive failure was created by them. So they are a petroleum engineers that willing to learn themselves the AI skill set by themselves, yeah. And then we in the company provide them with the data, the real data set, and then they try to process that and using their knowledge on the petroleum engineering to process the data and come up with what oil company needs. So the needs came from us, and then they try to create the algorithm just to answer the needs. So I believe that one can also be done with the geoscientists. Yeah, you guys are working with logging and seismic data. Try to find a way to mimic all the previous study that are using normal software available, conventional software available, and then you try to process the same data using the machine learning, and then you can compare the one that using the conventional software and the one that using machine learning, and that can be a great addition for you guys to get a little bit sense of how the machine learning can help you guys to understand better of your area of study, and also you can also help the industry itself because you are running the same thing, or you try to solve the same problem that we in the oil company have. So that's my suggestion actually.
We have question from Sri Sultan.
Yeah.
Please, you can unmute your microphone and turn on your video. Feel free to ask. Sri Sultan, are you still there? If you got shy, you can speak with bahasa.
Yeah, it's okay lah.
So just
Asal jangan pakai bahasa Makassar, saya nggak ngerti ya.
iya. Jadi bagi teman-teman yang ingin bertanya dengan bahasa Indonesia, silahkan. You can raise your hand or chat to the write on the chat box.
Silakan. Nanya anything lah. Kalau bisa jawab, saya jawab. Silakan.
Saya boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia?
Boleh, boleh.
Sebelumnya saya mohon maaf, ini menggunakan akun Zoom Bapak saya tidak tahu otomatis. Nama saya Ahmad Rafi Tansyah. Saya dari UPN Veteran Jakarta, jurusan Teknik Elektro. Ingin bertanya dong, kalau misalnya Teknik Elektro sendiri itu dari 6 bidang itu, dia lebih biasanya untuk perusahaan Bapak sendiri misalnya lebih cenderung menawarkan posisi di bagian apa untuk electrical engineering? Terima kasih.
Oke. Jadi kalau memang tertariknya di 6 posisi tadi, kita awalin dulu. 6 posisi tadi itu sebenarnya posisi untuk yang berhubungan dengan artificial intelligence. Nah, yang pertama mesti saya sampaikan adalah tidak semua, hampir tidak semua malah perusahaan minyak di Indonesia punya posisi itu. Mungkin yang ada software engineer dan data scientist atau data analis lah at least ya. Nah, itu yang ada. Yang lainnya belum ada. Karena apa? Karena memang belum terbentuk kebutuhan tentang AI ini di perusahaan minyak di Indonesia, oil and gas di Indonesia belum. Jadi makanya tidak muncul di kebutuhan organisasi. Kalau ditanya dari teman-teman dari elektro bisa apa, sebenarnya kalau yang tadi saya bilang, kalau mau langsung aja, ya paling gampang di bisnis ininya, intelligence-nya, karena misalkan kerjanya di bagian power generation ya, sebuah oil and gas gitu ya, atau power maintenance kan biasanya ada tuh, kalau di kami ada. Nah, teman-teman di sana seringnya itu bekerja untuk optimisasi praktikal aja, tanpa melihat data penggunaan listriknya atau data pembangkit listriknya. Nah, disitulah teman-teman elektro misalkan yang mengerti tentang kelistrikan itu memberikan atau melihat keperluan bisnis needs-nya gitu, yang diterjemahkan dalam bahasa yang mudah dipengerti oleh teman-teman yang non elektro dan disampaikan ke teman-teman di informatika misalkan yang bagian atau ICT misalkan yang ngerti software, yang ngerti algoritma, sehingga dia yang mengerjakan. Itu paling mudahnya, karena sekarang memang nggak ada posisi apa namanya tadi machine learning engineer itu nggak ada. Nah, paling mudahnya begitu. Tapi lebih baik lagi kalau teman-teman membekali dirinya sendiri dengan kemampuan programming gitu. So ketika mau masuk ke perusahaan ada lebihnya gitu, Pak. Saya tahu electrical engineering, ini ijazahnya, emang ijazahnya kan dari kampusnya elektro gitu ya. Tapi saya tahu tambahannya adalah additional skill set-nya adalah pemrograman. Jadi semua pekerjaan di electrical engineering bisa dipercepat dengan pemrograman, which is nggak semuanya loh bisa sekarang pemrograman ya gitu. Nah, itu nilai lebihnya yang kalau sekarang bisa disiapkan gitu. Makanya saya tadi bilang kalau bisa tesis atau TA-nya bikinnya pakai machine learning gitu, programming. Nah, itu akan lebih, jadi dua, kalian bawa apa yang kalian tahu dari yang di kuliah, yaitu mau elektro, mau geofisis atau apa nanti ya, dan menggunakan skill set baru yaitu algoritma tadi. Nah, sebenarnya kan AI itu kan kalau gampangannya disebut itu adalah ilmu statistik ya. Ya, memakai data sebelumnya untuk di forecast. Nah, ini sebenarnya bahasa gampangnya kan ilmu statistik gitu. Melihat benda-benda apa kalau dikumpulin jadi apa, nah kayak gitu kan. Nah, kalau dulu kan sering tesisnya pakai statistical data apa atau pakai misalkan Matlab atau apa gitu ya. Nah, sekarang ganti aja pakai machine learning, pakai deep learning. Nah, kalau bingung, kolaborasi aja sama teman-teman di kampusnya dari jurusan informatika misalkan. Diskusi, kalian yang punya data, misalkan tadi dari elektro ya, punya data power gitu ya. Diolah datanya untuk software programmingnya, minta diajarin mereka bekerja sama, ntar sama-sama lulus. Satunya dari sisi computer science-nya, satunya lagi dari sisi elektronya. Kira-kira gitu, Mas. Jadi kalau ditanya posisi, nggak semua company punya itu posisi tadi itu. Itu posisi standar yang ada di dunia ya. Cuman nggak semua company ada. Kira-kira gitu, Mas. Mas apa tadi? Mas Ahmad.
Iya, cukup jelas, Pak. Makasih.
Siap.
Oke, masih ada yang mau bertanya tidak?
Kedengaran nggak, Bu Sor?
Iya,
Dengar.
kedengaran kok. Iya.
Silakan.
Silakan ya. Silakan.
Kalau enggak ini kayaknya saya mau ngasih tahu aja nih, ya sering-sering aja benchmark ya sama kampus lain. Kan kalau ini SPE ya bisa sama SPE apa namanya di kampus lain ya tentang hal ini nih machine learning dan semuanya. Kayaknya ini ada temen juga ini nih. Ini ada mungkin nanti bisa di call Hexa ini. Nah dia dari SPE ITB tuh. Nah silakan aja kalau mau compare tentang machine learning penerapan yang di kampus sana seperti apa gitu. Kita diskusi. Kan enaknya gitu punya komunitas itu kan gitu, bisa diskusi gitu ya. Nah gitu, silakan. Oh, ada Hexa tuh. Dia yang bikin tadi predictive maintenance. Hexa, ada suaranya Hexa?
Ya, halo Bang. Halo
Nah,
teman-teman dari
ya
Unhas.
itu. Silakan aja dia dari SPE ITB tuh.
Mantan Bang, kan udah selesai.
Iya. Udah lulus sih memang. Ya. Tapi lah masih punya koneksinya lah. Kasih tahu lah siapa.
Ya, kalau nggak salah kemarin-kemarin juga Unhas udah benchmarking sama SPE ITB.
Oke, siap. Itulah kita manfaatkan pertemanan. Oke, gimana Mas? Ada pertanyaan lagi Mas?
Jadi gimana nih teman-teman kalau misalnya ada yang mau bertanya lagi?
Nah, kalau masih bingung pertanyaannya kapan, nanti saya tulis email saya di sini ya, di chat ya. Bisa di situ aja.
Kalau ada yang mau bertanya, raise hand ya, atau ketik pertanyaannya di chat box.
Nah, itu saya kirim email saya juga kalau mau tanya, monggo silakan.
Halo moderator. Iya, silakan kepada Sakif.
Ya, Assalamualaikum Pak. Nggak izin bertanya lagi Pak.
Iya ya.
Saya penasaran bagaimana itu penentuan algoritma machine learning dalam dunia oil and gas industry. Algoritma apa biasa yang dipakai? Sama kalau di dalam oil and gas industry itu bagaimana penerapan neural networks-nya? Sekian, Pak. Terima
Ya,
kasih.
sama-sama. Dari jurusan apa tadi Mas Akif?
Dari Geofisika Unhas, Pak.
Oh, JPC. Ya, oke. Thank you ya. Nah, tadi kan di slide saya kan ada yang tentang AI at a glance ya. Jadi kayak overview AI itu seperti apa. Kalau di kita memang di Pertamina PHE mainnya banyaknya pakai Python programming ya. Jadi yang 3 contoh tadi yang ditampilkan itu dia pakai Python programming. Mostly karena semua datanya ada labelnya, misalkan data ini adalah pressure discharge, data ini pressure intake. Jadi mostly itu kita pakai yang supervised learning. Jadi nanti kalau mau tahu tentang si programming Python-nya atau machine learning-nya sendiri, bisa tadi tuh di link yang banyak itu pilih aja yang mana yang kira-kira mau belajar. Nah yang paling bawah itu bahasa Indonesia tuh adik kelas saya, nah, dia create banyak konten di situ, bisa buat belajar machine learning lah. Nah kemudian umumnya setelah karena banyak ya pilihannya, metodenya. Pertama metode untuk merapikan data aja itu banyak gitu, karena data di data actual dari sumur itu nggak lengkap, udah gitu kadang-kadang nggak konsisten, jadi menghilangkan outlier itu sama aja kayak statistik biasa, yang bikin data jelek dibuang gitu ya, jadi bisa dibuang nanti, terus kita bisa ini saya ngomong bahasa gampangnya aja, setiap itu tuh ada istilahnya masing-masing. Nah nanti data setelah di prepare itu data set itu jadi rapi, kemudian baru dia bisa diolah. Lah untuk prepare-nya aja itu sebenarnya yang paling lama. Jadi kalau menguasai algoritma untuk machine learning itu yang dikuatkan di preparing datasetnya itu dulu. Nah dari situ nanti teman-teman bisa belajar juga. Ternyata dari semua data itu nggak semuanya loh related dengan yang objektif kita, itu namanya feature engineering. Jadi diputar lagi, kita balik lagi, kita tes datanya lagi, mana-mana memang yang berpengaruh besar ke hasil, mana yang enggak. Nah, kadang-kala nggak berpengaruh besar, jadi ya nggak usah dipakai aja. Nah, toh yang memang punya pengaruh besar ke hasilnya project atau program aja yang kita pakai kan. Nah, diolah, dipakai. Nah, tapi yang lebih utama tadi, Mas, kalau dari punya ide, nyari ide sebuah atau nyari ide itu kalau dalam sisi kami di pekerjaan itu adalah kebutuhan bisnisnya apa nih. Karena nggak semuanya perlu pakai machine learning. Kadang-kadang, nah ini pakai rumus biasa, straightforward aja udah kelar. Nah, tapi kan banyak yang enggak. Nah, itu yang perlu dicari. Jadi bisa dipelajarin aja itu tadi banyak preparing data atau belajar algoritma pemrograman. Kalau yang kita pakai memang so far kita pakai Python ya. Kalau pakai bahasa pemrograman yang lain bisa juga mungkin. Saya nggak pernah ini sih, nggak pernah memakainya. Saya sendiri juga dalam tahap belajar. Kalau untuk hal programming ya teman-teman kayak Hexa dan semua tadi itu yang lebih jago dari saya. Yang tadi aku bilang kan, role saya ini sebagai yang punya bisnis need ya. Jadi yang tahu kepentingan bisnisnya saya gitu. Jadi nanti saya yang mengungkapkan ini ke apa namanya developernya. Ya, di situ harus diskusi karena umumnya yang tadi saya bilang kalau emang basicnya emang dari computer science ya taunya cuma programming aja. Nah kalau saya nggak tahu programming, tahu kebutuhannya. Nah ini bekerja sama. Nah kan sekarang ceritanya Mas mau bisa dua-duanya. Nah, tapi jangan dilupakan intinya geofisis itu nggak semua orang bisa. Itu intinya jangan dilupakan. Nah sambil belajarnya adalah create project-nya, project geofisis, cuman pakai machine learning. Nah, pakailah Python misalnya yang paling umum ya kan, pakai Python gitu-gitu. Nah itu banyak banget yang bisa dipelajarin. Intinya kuncinya di prepare dataset dulu, tapi habis itu mau diolah pakai macam-macam bisa. Mau kayak tadi mau pakai, tergantung mau dia mau bikin sesimpel untuk klasifikasi atau untuk prediksi atau mau bikin robot gitu misalkan. Ya bisa aja. Kira-kira gitu Mas.
Dari Mas Sakif ada respon enggak?
Mungkin sekian saja. Terima kasih jawabannya, Pak.
Ya.
Oke. Masih ada pertanyaan? Untuk terakhir, oke, dari Haikal Hasrat nih. Mau bertanya Haikal? Pertanyaan terakhir mungkin ya. Oh ya. Haikal.
Terima kasih kesempatannya. Saya mau bertanya soal yang tadi Bapak bilang seperti robot. Nah, di sini yang saya ingin tanyakan itu untuk teknologinya untuk di petroleum industri itu bagaimana untuk artificial intelligence? Contohnya seperti kan kalau seperti dunia otomotif itu ada mobil pintar, jadi menggunakan sistem seperti machine learning dan deep learning. Nah, untuk di oil dan gas itu teknologinya itu apa itu?
Iya.
Mungkin itu. Terima kasih.
Aplikasinya paling simpel otomasi di kepala sumur ya. Jadi di programnya di-create ketika parameter-parameter di kepala sumur itu sesuai dengan rules-nya. Misal dia akan menggerakkan si choke-nya atau valve-nya gitu sehingga operasi sumurnya itu otomatis. Nah itu yang paling simpelnya ya kan. Dia memerintahkan sebuah valve di sana yang bergerak secara hidrolik, bekerja sendiri. Dia buka tutup sendiri gitu. Itu yang paling simpel. Kalau yang benar-benar robotik yang tadi yang misalkan dikerjain sama Exxon, dia bekerja sama dengan MIT, kemudian Texas A&M, dia create robot, ya robotnya beneran, itu ada banyak hal sebenarnya situ kan si robotnya sendiri, dan yang kedua si programnya untuk melihat tadi mereka kan mencari resource baru untuk cadangan minyak dari oil ships ya atau minyak yang merembes keluar dari dasar lautan. Nah, itu benar-benar robotik itu kompleks. Jadi instead of kirim orang untuk nyelam nyari kan nggak mungkin juga dalam. Jadi dia pakai ROV gitu. Kalau sekarang kan ROV namanya ROV Remote Operating Vehicle. Sebenarnya ini masih dikendalikan. Kalau ini robotiknya ini dia nyari sendiri gitu. Jadi dari parameter-parameter yang terkandung di airnya, air lautnya itu ada minyaknya enggak, dia nyari sendiri, memetakan sendiri, ya, seperti itu. Dia jalan sendiri. Nah, itu yang paling kompleks sih yang saya tahu. Kalau di Indonesia belum ada. Kira-kira gitu, Mas.
Gimana Haikal?
Oh iya, terima kasih. Terima kasih banyak.
Mungkin itu yang menjadi pertanyaan penutup kita. Sebelum menutup acara ini, mari kita masuk ke sesi untuk dokumentasi. Jadi diharapkan untuk setiap peserta mengaktifkan kameranya. Oke. Silakan diaktifkan ya untuk dokumentasi.
Hasnan, maybe I will take a picture now. Please, guys, get your pose. 1, 2, 3. All right, one more time. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you guys what I'm doing with my team in here. So sorry if mistake from me came. I think yeah, that's thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. This is very great. Thank you.
Thank you for Mr. Marda to bring the very important thing today. And now we in the end of our event. As usual in evening, I would like to apologize if there's some big mistakes in our event. And we so appreciate to everyone who have been attended for this event. That's all that I can say. Stay safe and stay healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mas.
Sama-sama. Oke. Saya cabut dulu ya. Thank you, thank you.
Makasih, Mas.
Ya.
Oke, kepada seluruh peserta sudah bisa dipersilahkan keluar dari room. Dan untuk segenap panitia untuk stay dulu untuk evaluasi. Terima kasih.
Silakan jangan lupa mengisi present form karena linknya akan ditutup pukul 5 waktu Indonesia Barat. Terima kasih. Dan iya, untuk sertifikat hanya diberikan kepada peserta yang mengisi absensi. Terima kasih.